So hello and welcome to another episode of Wiki Weekends. I'm your host, Karl Smallwood, joined as ever off screen and off camera by my good friend, Lucas Holland. Say hello, Lucas.
Oh, it's the first time I've ever been called a good friend.
You're my good friend.
No, I'm joking.
And Lucas, do you know how we became friends? Do you remember?
I mean, essentially, we bonded over, like, Super Smash Bros. In a gaming society.
That's funny, because the topic of today's video is Captain Falcon.
Falcon Punch!
Fuck yeah.
So specifically, we're referring to Captain Falcon on the Super Smash Bros. Wiki. And Lucas, we have played a lot of Smash Bros, yes?
We have.
I think the other week, during that weird haze between Christmas and New Year's, we literally put a shift in and played 8 hours of Smash Bros in a row.
Yeah, we were like, us and a friend just said, like, let's play some Smash one night. We'll probably play a couple of hours, and then next thing we know, it's 8 hours later.
A literal full shift's worth of Smash. And we were still playing, because it's the video game.
Oh, God. He's bringing it.
Oh!
Oh, my
Lucas! God. Karl busting out the tech you've never seen!
It is the video game.
We've been playing Smash Bros. Together for over 10 years now.
About a dozen years, yeah.
Yeah, and I still think it's really funny that just every now and again, like our friend group, when we're playing Smash Online, we'll send a picture to the group chat we have of like, oh look, my Switch reached 10,000 fights.
And that's just on the ultimate version.
But for anyone unfamiliar with Captain Falcon from the Smash Bros. Series, Captain Falcon is a playable character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. He was confirmed on June 12, 2018, as in the original Super Smash Bros. And Super Smash Bros. Brawl. He is unlockable instead of being available from the start. He is classified as Fighter number 11. And he's such a man.
And the thing is, he is the literal OG.
He's the most OG of characters. So, Lucas, would you like to explain why Captain Falcon is the original Smash Bros. Fighter? Not Mario, not like Pikachu, not Kirby, any of those. He is the original.
Yeah, so when developing the game, the original moveset was just like, a relatively, generic, if not impressive, set of just martial artist moves.
Yeah, it was sort of Dragon Fighter or something like that, wasn't it?
必殺技と回避、アイテムなどはまだありませんが、ゲームのルールはまんまスマブラであることがわかると思います。
That was, I think, the name of the game in pre-development before it became like Super Smash Bros. Yeah, and it was just one of those of like, well, we've got all this work put into a more generic human fighter. What is a Nintendo character when it became a game about Nintendo fighters?
Because they realised they could just use their own licensed characters in the game, and they had just a default model left over all these cool moves. And well, who's a relatively humanoid character we could slap this moveset on? And they came up with?
They came up with Captain Falcon, of course, and that is why it's like, why does Captain Falcon is just a racer? And yes, he is a bounty hunter in lore, but where did they come up with this moveset for this dude? And it's like, that was just the moveset from the prototype of the game.
Yep, and they just put it in. Just the idea of, they looked at this random character that had no name from a video game that was early in development and went, let's just make that Captain Falcon. It's like, who's Captain Falcon? It's like, who Captain Falcon is? He's the man, he's so good!
It's like, you don't need to say he's not. It's just, who is Captain Falcon? Just Falcon Punch.
He's the hype, and I think he's the hypest character in the game. But as in Super Smash Bros. 4, Ryo Horikawa's portrayal of Captain Falcon from Super Smash Bros. Melee and Brawl were repurposed for Ultimate. They've used the same voice lines for 20 fucking years. Because you know what? They were perfect. Why would you paint over the Mona Lisa? The first time he walked into that booth and went, Falcon Punch! Done. Sorted.
Nailed it. Yeah.
Nailed it. First time. But
it's like, I know a lot of people might be thinking that, oh man, that's such a shame that they're, not re-recording the lines and whatnot.
No, keep them.
It's like, listen to the difference between Fox in Melee
come on!
Ultimate. And you've gone from like, come on, to like, oh, come on.
The downgrade from the come on from Fox in like Melee, it's like where he's just like, come on! It's like so good! It's so over the top.
Hey. Come on! Come on! Come on! Come at me!
Yeah, but it says here that Horikawa did briefly return to voice Captain Falcon in Min Min's reveal trailer, only recording eating sounds for Captain Falcon. So they brought the guy back in years later, and all they did is record him eating noodles, and he's like, do you not want me to say like Falcon Punch again? No, you're good.
It's like, we're cool. Just slurp some noodles. It's like, could you not have just got anyone in? But no, they wanted to respect the name.
They brought the original guy back and made him eat noodles into a microphone and then sent him home. It reminds me of like the voice of King DDD. Is Sakurai himself. Mm-hmm. It's his voice lines like the that's Sakurai. And it's not even like a voice. It's just the sound effects.
Oh man, we should just get a Waddle dethroned for Sakurai, shouldn't we?
He's probably got one in his house. What do you think
just
he sleeps on?
Just walk him
mate?
around in it.
Like, what do you think he sleeps on? And in that vein, mate, discounting Captain Falcon because Falcon Punch is always going to win. And the yes when he lands a knee. Yes! He hits that knee. What character in Smash Bros. Has your favourite sound clips? Because there's some fucking good ones. Like the Fox Come On.
Is.
The Come On, Come On!
The Melee Fox is great, and like Falco as well. I love the good old line, like, I fight for my friends.
I like when he's like, I fight for my friends. He does it after doing Ether. Like, he jumps 40 feet into the air, does like 14 front flips, and slams down a sword that weighs more than a car door. Says, I fight for my friends.
I fight for my friends.
And I guess, like, if we're going to talk, like, also just, this is the Menando's power!
Oh,
so,
God.
I unironically love bad English accents in video games. Like, when you have, like, Shulk. It's like, it's rhyme time! Like, I love that unironically, because it's so shit.
Backslash! I'm really feeling it.
That it goes all the way around to be funny.
No, there's one reason that I've never touched Xenoblade Chronicles, and it's the voice acting.
The thing is, I don't mind it in Smash Bros. Because it's only every now and again. It'd probably get annoying after a while, but it's like, I absolutely adore just like how bad his voice lines are in Smash Bros. Like, this is the Monado power! Similarly to like why I love like in Tekken Steve Fox, who has like the shittest like English accent. It's like, these are the fists of a champion! And it's like, God, he's so bad! He's great!
Steve, you're in the tournament?
Yeah. You hear about the guy who trashed that dojo?
These are the fists of a champion.
I mean, there's some classic ones of just like, you know, Pichu and Pikachu like have
It
great
is the Pikachu
noises.
voice actress, right? It's still that adorable Japanese lady who does all the voice lines for Pikachu, save for Jigglypuff.
Good old Chopper.
It's like the same one from like the Pokemon anime, right?
I think so, yeah.
Pikachu, ちょっと言っていただけます？ いや似てないと本人ですからね。可愛いですね。本編お願いいたします。ベカベカ。いやこれや。
But like, there is something special about just Mario in that game of like just throwing you off the edge, like wahoo, and then just dunking you into oblivion.
I think it's because Mario loves it.
Yeah.
There's nothing Mario loves more than being vertical. Like, the man loves being airborne. Like Charles Martinet absolutely just demolishing that role, like woohoo! Although I do get annoyed that he doesn't make the wow. I want that in.
Yeah, that would be great if they added that in. I was about to say like R.I.P. to Charles Martinet's Mario voice, but I don't want people to get confused. He's just retired from being Mario's voice now,
And his voice will
he's
always
not
be in the game.
actually passed away.
God, right? Yeah, Mario's a good one. It's just like you don't expect Mario to just be like woohoo and boom, just lands that dunk, like the
That
dunk of an
forward
absolute
air.
god.
Oh, he thought. Oh my God!
Super Semi! That just turning it round out of nowhere! Everyone absolutely popping off in...
Speaking of gameplay, so Captain Falcon is ranked 39th out of 82 characters on the current tier list, but he's number one in our hearts.
Yeah, he's number one.
He's number one. He's Captain Falcon. And one of the things that I love about playing Captain Falcon is that everyone who plays Captain Falcon just knows. Like, there is like that inherent respect from all Captain Falcon players of like, start of every match, you've got a taunt. As is tradition, the requisite Falcon respect of, like, you know, Falcon just shitting his fucking pants, and you go for a shoulder tackle. So.
I mean, I did.
You did.
Come on. It's like, it's one of those things of, it's like everyone's like, oh, what does, like, you know, kind of that classic thing of what does your main say about you, and like what, you know, main being the character you play the most. And it's like always, you know, like, oh well, Fox players are like very technical and meta, and like Mario players are this and that, and like very neutral, and Captain Falcon players just play for like the spirit of the dunk.
They play for the, like, the thing, Captain Falcon players, they play for the love of the game. Because Captain Falcon is a very flashy character, and he is a fan favourite character, because just everything that man does just like exudes style and swagger. Like, even like one of the coolest moves in the entire game is just his up tilt, where he just casually just throws out a heel drop that immediately rockets you to the ground.
Just axe kicks you through like time and space.
Completely effortless. Oh no,
return a jab. Pummel him.
Return a jab with a jab.
Yeah!
See, that's where they're going to zoom in at me, just like, oh, fucking hell. It says here that, you know, this is a noticeable drop from his, like, you know, placement in Super Smash Bros. 4. Captain Falcon retains his speed and mobility from previous games, which allows him to rush down his opponent with ease and combo them or carry them off the blast line. His normals, such as neutral aerial, are useful as they open up combos and KO setups into his forward aerial, back aerial, or down aerial, aka the knee, the back fist, and just the 2 feet. The knee. Why is the knee the coolest fucking thing?
No, why is soft knee into hard knee the best thing?
Luke, so tell people, explain the knee.
So the knee is his forward aerial. So while you are in the air, if you like attack in the direction, and yeah, with his forward aerial, he just thrusts that knee straight forward into his opponent. And what I mean by like hard and soft knee is there's like 2 separate hitboxes on his knee when he, you know, has the moment of impact, and there is like the sweet spot on it, and then there is a larger hitbox that's like not quite a sweet spot, but it will just like nudge them a little bit and do a little bit of damage. But that means that in the air you can get like one knee which nudges them just a little bit.
It has like very specific knockback that you can then like take advantage of and combo into.
The hard knee, of course, which just it like stops time.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Just for that brief moment of like that lovely Smash Bros like game feel of like you just get that hit stun while like the electric explosion comes out of his knee and your opponent
and then you get that little bit of haptic feedback. Your controller vibrates ever so slightly. I remember once when me and you were playing some Smash Bros, and we were just like drunk talking about why is this game so good, and you just said one of the most like just profound things you've ever said. You went, Karl, Smash Bros is so good because it's the only video game where at a certain point you're playing on instinct. Because if people are unfamiliar with the Smash Bros series, unlike a fighting game like, say, Tekken or Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, in one of those games, if you start a combo, for the most part, the combo will play out the same way every single time. There is like a set way it will go down. Like sometimes actually, like in Tekken, you have slight control of like your aerial like momentum when you're being comboed and juggled, but for the most part, the combo will always look the same. It will play out the same way. Some factors can influence it, such as like, you know, proximity to the corner or like interactables, but it will almost always play out the same way. Smash Bros is momentum based, so that even, say for example, Captain Falcon's like neutral, the Falcon Punch. The Falcon Punch does not do the same damage every time it hits. It does not have the same knockback every time it hits, and the knockback can be influenced by the person being hit by it in every direction in the air. Meaning that, like, while you're being comboed in like any other fighting game, you can literally put your controller down and not have to worry about it for the most part, unless you have something like a breaker like you find in Mortal Kombat, or like in Tekken where you can slightly like some of the games let you change your aerial momentum and weight. In Smash Bros, you can control like for the the lower the percentage you are, the more control you have, but you still always have the ability to get into or out of a combo, which means every fight is basically you against the opponent trying to figure out what they're going to do. It's like, are they going to like try and like directional input downwards, at which point you can you've got to predict that and change your own aerial momentum as you go through the air. They're going to go upwards. They're going to try and like air dodge. Which way they're going to air dodge? Are they not going to do anything? Like, are they going to do like the no mix-up? Are they going to try and do a move out of that? At which point you can and it's just, there are almost infinite variables for every conceivable clash of moves in the game. That just, it's always fun.
One of those of, as you say, it's about the variables because, yes, every single fighting game near enough has those like elements of mind games, etc., of like what you're going to do in this situation, but Smash Bros is basically the only one where you don't just learn combos by learning a string of button inputs. And
of course there are some things that are guaranteed, like throw setups are especially annoying once you play. If you play against someone who knows what they're doing, throw setups can be especially frustrating because there's some characters have certain guaranteed things, but even those guarantees are only at certain percentages because the higher your percentage, the more you get knocked back, which means you've got to like adjust what you do. So there's still some variation there, and just the fact that there's constant movement and like your position on the stage is never going to be guaranteed, and you have aerial mobility. So even in those situations, there's still like an almost infinite amount of variability that can go into every single interaction.
コンボ重視のゲームが増え、駆け引き要素などは下がっていく。わからない人や初心者にはなおさら見ているだけの、やられているだけの状況が増えてしまうと。結果が操作により決まりきることではなく、もっと差し合いやアドリブ性みたいなものを求めることはできないかなと考えました。結果として蓄積ダメージシステムが生まれました。相手のリアクションが毎回異なる。画面外に飛び出したらダメージがどうあっても負け。
Which means no two games of Smash Bros feel the same.
Other elements, like for example, it also matters what damage you're on because you could be in rage mode where like everything you do does a little bit more damage and knockback. So all of the combos that you have kind of like figured out, or all of like the the string of like a throw into a guaranteed hit, it's like that might not work anymore because you're on a higher percentage of damage.
Also, there's a system in the game, if you do the same move over and over again, the move gets stale with it, so which means that it does less damage and knockback.
And yeah, all of this, as mentioned earlier, just all of it ultimately builds up to like you have to just learn the game, not like the combos and the characters.
And really good players have basically mastered these systems, and they will know like pretty much every variable, or they'll have like they'll have a general idea of okay, between these percentages I can do this, and when my opponent's at this percentage they and all the characters will have different weights and knockbacks and all that stuff, but good players will have a fairly decent comprehensive overview of all of that stuff. But even still, it's just about the feel. And just like when you there's nothing can compare to landing like a perfect predicted dunk in Smash Bros. Now I've got the hit, it doesn't feel as bad. Oh no, but I've still got Daddy.
And yeah, and on top of that, when you manage to like, if you can figure out like doing like an aerial combo into a dunk, like doing a couple of like up airs into a soft knee, into a hard knee or something like that, and
just as fact as well that that the entire time that you're doing all this, your opponent is desperately trying to get out of it.
Yeah,
and similarly, like as the person being comboed, like there's like few things more satisfying than like reversing that. I distinctly recall many matches where I get my ass kicked as Donkey Kong, and then like, oh no, you're about to like kill me off the stage. Okay, Donkey Kong's to the side B, and just the nut. And like just no game can compare to the feeling you get from just like a good back and forth in Smash Bros. But I'm not going for like little kid Ike. No, I'm going for Daddy Ike. Let's go. This is true chub.
You know what? I wish they'd added more Fire Emblem characters though.
No, so do I. It'd be fucking great. So Lucas, you know the drill. What happens first in a Smash Off? Fuck right. Let's go. Yeah. We should point out we're not great at this game. We just really, really like it. And the rule that me and Lucas always have is always go for disrespect.
Oh God!
As shown. What you got? Ike's coming, baby.
On top of the variability, I think the thing that always keeps us coming back and back and back is that game feel.
It's so good. You know, like the hit stop on when you hit, like when you land like a knee and the game slows down, like all time freezes for a moment. It's just like you've got to appreciate how hard that knee hit.
And it's only, you know, that brief second that like you can barely like notice actively, but it just makes the game feel so much better.
Oh, get it. Oh, take it, daddy. Take it. Oh, no, he's giving out. He's giving out.
Big Doriart energy. Big Doriart. And not so much as well, like, it makes really good use of momentum, as we said. Like, when you get hit, and you, like, rocket off the stage, and you'll rocket, like, at 100 miles an hour, and you'll slow down, then you, like, slow back down. But the higher your percentage, the less able you are to prevent that. And the best way to get that across is just show people a game where that level of care and detail is not put into it, like Sony Smash or like that Nickelodeon Smash game or Multiverses, which are all trying to ape Smash, but just don't get why it feels so good and just have like stiff, lifeless animations, and they lack the momentum and the feedback, visual and player-wise you get from landing those big hits.
We could actually cancel out of that with the defensive options or into attacks. It gives new mobility base. Oh, he got some! He got him! He went down there all the way!
And that's the thing, it's not necessarily to say that like the care and attention wasn't put in by the developers, it's just like none of the others have that level of like polish and finesse.
Not to mention as well, like there's a weightiness to Smash Bros. Like some characters don't. Like you play Kirby, very floaty, but when you're playing Kirby, like you're woo, like.
But even Kirby, who is an intentionally floaty character, has elements where they then feel weighty. Like for example, when you just press that down B, and you go from like floating up over your opponents, being super slow in the air.
And then you compare that to like watch any match of Multiverses and all the characters are float around and it looks fucking ugly and just nothing has any impact or feels like it has like any weight to it. You know, speaking of weight, attributes. Captain Falcon is a tall and heavyweight character, yet he boasts some of the best overall mobility of any character in the entire game. And one of the things I love about Smash Bros is that there's a couple of things that have been fairly consistent in Smash Bros. Like Captain Falcon is consistently always one of the fastest because he's Captain Falcon. He's like, what's the joke we always make, Lucas, when he's running from side to side?
Oh, doing the bleep test.
The bleep test you do in high school of like when an opponent's respawning, you can get like 3 or 4 laps of the entire stage in as Captain Falcon. And there's one character who's always the heaviest, and that is Bowser. Bowser is always the heaviest character in the game. And a detail, and it's just the little things that I fucking adore about playing Bowser, is that every step he takes shakes the screen. Just a little bit, but every step that Bowser takes will shake the screen. He's that big.
It's very cool, and it is very intimidating, but I do slightly still just miss his old like melee run of like the roller coaster.
Oh yeah, we can roll. But also, I love that they made it so, for some reason, we decided that Bowser just hauls ass. So despite being the literal heaviest character in the entire game, he shakes the screen with every step. He just has the I'm late for school run, the like Terminator, the T-1000.
He has the like I am ready to sprint at you and just clothesline right through your face.
And then like when they get like the drop kick, and that's the thing as well. Like, I love the characterization, like just some of the little animation things that just are so fun. Like Bowser just doing like he's hauling the most amount of ass. Donkey Kong's taunt where he just looks at the screen like, huh? I'd lift those leaves though. Oh God. Okay.
Here we go, boys.
No! Like Pikachu's like backwards walk animation, like where he just like the shuffle backwards. And the fact as well doing that gives him a slightly different hitbox.
Yeah, because you know every single time we play Smash Bros, we discover some kind of new, not way to play, but some kind of new interaction between characters.
No hyperbole here. In the literally thousands of games myself and Lucas have played, and the hundreds of times individually just sat down and played some Smash Bros. Every single time I've sat down to play that game, even though we're playing on like Final Destination with no items, so the variability of what can occur is like, dramatically lowered. We have experienced something we've never seen before. There is always an interaction we've never seen, or like a move, or a combination of things happening that we've never seen or experienced while playing before, and that's what just keeps us coming back.
Yeah, and we're talking like every gaming session, not like every single
single match, yes, but
we just play, as you say, like pretty simple. Normally, it's like a more simple stage for the most part. Like sometimes we mix it up a bit, and then no items, and a lot of the time we're playing 3-player, but still, like that's. Compared to what can happen in Smash of like 8 players, huge stage, items everywhere, like it's quite simple, and yet we still find new interactions all the time.
Oh, I keep getting to catch my ball. Are you kidding me? What is this? Yeah!
Well, Elwind actually just pushing me off
just
the
like
edge.
pushed you ever so gently as you was air dodging.
Pushed me gently away from the ledge.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows?
So I win.
Yeah.
Yeah! Yeah, and it's what keeps us going. Like, no fighting game can have that. Like, I love Tekken, I love Mortal Kombat, I love Street Fighter, I love like Dead or Alive. I play so many fighting games, but there's just something about Smash Bros. That's just, there's always something new, and as a result, there's always more to learn. Whereas like some fighting games, like, I love Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, for example. That's almost solved at this point. The level of creativity afforded to a player is nigh infinite. But in terms of what can be done in the game, it's basically solved at this point.
Yeah, like there is a meta to that game where it's like there are characters that people pick, and there are combos that you do, and there are interactions that you aim for every single time.
There are very few unknowns in that game, whereas in Smash Bros, there's just some stuff like, I don't know how this move interacts with this thing. And the fact
it's so fun, just like every single time we just pick up the game again, and it's like, oh, well, I wonder what happens if I pocket this item and throw it back at you.
Yeah. And just, it's that. And, I've got onto now Captain Falcon's move list. So there's a couple of moves you'd like us to highlight of just what they can do.
I mean, of course, there's like I'd say the main staple 4 of Captain Falcon would be Falcon Punch, Falcon Kick, Raptor Boost, and his knee.
Okay, so we have here the forward aerial, also known as striking knee in Japan. A knee strike, much like the lightning kick, is extremely polarized. It deals extremely high damage with an electric effect when sweet spotted, to the point of being the strongest forward aerial in the game, which is incredibly weak when sour spotted. It deals massive shield damage, and one of the coolest things as like a Captain Falcon player you can do is hang off the stage with one hand, and then like you drop off the stage and then jump back onto it with a forward knee. Just imagine what it looks like from like the character's perspective. Like a guy's hanging by his fingertips. 1 second later, just this knee's coming towards you with lightning bolts on it.
It's like he's somersaulted back up off gravity and just like decided to knee you in the skull.
Then we have the Falcon Punch, just simply called the Falcon Punch. Winds up, throwing his iconic flaming punch, yelling, "Falcon Punch!" Oh, it's so good! And then it also says, turning around while using the move increases its power, but slightly increases the startup lag, but dramatically increases the swag factor. The level of swag that is like got gained from landing a twisty Falcon Punch.
The thing is, it's when you sprint, jump off the stage, press Falcon Punch, turn around and get the punch, like doing like the mid-air suicide, like twisty Falcon Punch to finish your opponent. I love the fact as well
that has a name. It's like the sacred combo after like a player who would just do it all the time, of like you do a knee and then sprint off the stage and just
He's him out of side B, doesn't get the kill, but it looks amazing. All right,
praise
the
Falcon.
No! Oh my God!
Praise him!
Westballz! Somebody stop this man!
Do you know what he does in the anime? He's basically, he like jumps out of the blue Falcon in there. It's that! You can do that in this game.
Captain, hang on!
And then we have the. Did you mention the Falcon? What were the other moves you mentioned?
I said the Falcon Kick and the Raptor Boost.
So the Falcon Kick quickly propels himself forward with a flaming flying kick, shouting, "Falcon Kick!" He's not a great KO move, but he's especially good for approaches and punishing players out of shield. And I still prefer, what was it now? I still prefer Ganon's version, the Wizard Foot. Like the size 19's coming in. And then you mentioned, was it the Raptor Boost or the Falcon Dive?
The Raptor Boost.
The Raptor Boost is his side special, which is just... which they have buffed so much that it's like just... whenever we play Cats in Falcon Mirrors, the amount of times two Falcons collide and just bounce off each other like just with no effort. It's so good.
Because they removed a lot of the KO potential that I think it was from 4 that they had with like the doing it on stage. But the fact that you can do it off stage and like if you hit it, you send your opponent just flying to the depths. But if you miss it, you don't get to recover. Like you go into a helpless mode.
And I think like Cats in Falcon could recover, but it's just like the embarrassment of not landing a sick kill.
It's like, oh no, man, no, I'm done.
Speaking of which, we have his taunt. So Lucas, what's your favourite taunt? I know what it is, but tell the audience.
Show me your moves.
So he's down taunt where he salutes to his right side, saying, "Show me your moves." When facing left, his taunt changes when he faces the other direction. And you always do that because it's quicker, right? If you do it facing to the left, his taunt is quicker, so you can do it more.
Most people do it the quicker way, but I always do it the way where you guarantee that you get to see his arse cheeks while he's doing it.
And that's the thing, there is a taunt meta in Smash Bros. Where you face a certain direction so you can taunt quicker to get away with it. I think my favourite is like his side taunt where he just puts his arm out like, "Come on!" Because it's the best one in a mirror when you both do it.
And then, his up taunt is fine. He just goes on fire.
He just turns on fire. He just powers up. It's like, and then he's got his his various recolors, and we know which one Lucas plays. Captain Fabulous.
Captain fucking Fabulous.
Just Gay
Karl.
Pride Falcon. That's the thing. We all have our own Falcon skins. You play Gay Pride Falcon.
I still appreciate that no matter how many new characters they add in, Captain Falcon is always just surveying all. Looking to the left, judging the state of the tier list. Like,
if you were Falcon, you'd judge everyone else.
You don't judge anyone because you're playing Gay Pride Falcon. Gay Pride Falcon does not judge, he accepts.
Our friend Charlie plays Green Falcon like Tommy Oliver, and I played like Baby Blue Falcon with a pink ascot because he accessorizes.
Yeah, I've been a Captain Falcon main since I just picked up Super Smash Bros. On the N64, not knowing what it was, but just Captain Fabulous all the way.
Yeah, and just Captain Falcon's not my main. Like, my main, it's Ganondorf, and it is... I realise I play all the characters with King in their name. So I play Ganondorf, the King of Evil. I play King DDD, the King of Dreamland. I play Bowser, the King of the Koopas. I play Ike, the Hero King. So I just play all the kings.
And
then
don't
Captain
forget
Falcon,
Donkey
the King
Kong.
of our hearts.
The King of the Jungle.
Oh yeah, and play Donkey Kong, the King of the Jungle.
Oh yeah.
But me and Lucas, we love Smash Bros. I can talk about it all day. We no doubt will in private when we're playing the game at some point in the future, and we'll probably come back to cover another Smash Bros. Character in the future. But for everyone at home, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Let us know your favourite Smash Bros. Character, moment, taunt, what have you. And as always, go out there and have the day you deserve. Show me your moves.
Show me your moves.
It's so good. So good.